Frisk? What are you doing here? I told you. Oh, you're back to reset, right? I knew eventually you'd. Wait, what? You idiot. Don't you remember what I said? I can't love you. I can't love anyone. I'll just make you all miserable up there.
I know. It's okay that you can't love.
Then, what? Is this some kind of pity thing? Oh boo-hoo, the poor flowers left all alone, because you can keep your worthless pity.
No, that's not it.
Then what is it?
It's just, you're the only other one who knows what it was like. I just wanted someone to talk to about it, and I thought you might want that, too. I know you're not interested in being friends, or family, with anyone, and I know that I'm not Chara, but do you think, maybe understanding would be enough?
Yeah? Sure, whatever, on a couple conditions. Don't tell Asgore or Toriel who I am.
I won't tell.
And no more resets.
No more resets.
What's with this stupid helmet, anyway?
Toriel wouldn't let me come down here without safety stuff.
You look like a total dork.
Uh-huh. I know.
How are you two doing?
Government homework for world's youngest ambassador. Trying to learn to write without using his vines.
Well, cheer up. Sans is going to help me make a pie after dinner. You can both get an extra helping since you've been working so hard.
Thanks, Toriel.
A known caller.
Hello?
Excuse me, is this the ambassador to the monsters?
Yes?
This is the Secret Service. Just letting you know, we've discovered a plant, and we believe it's someone very close to you.
What?
Here.
At least you and Sans have that in common.
Got what in common?
Pranking me with a phone.
When did I ever do that?
In Snowden? That wasn't you?
Frisk, sometimes you're so dumb. When would I be able to use a phone? I can barely use this stupid pencil.
That's weird. I wonder who that was.
Probably just that skeleton if you were in Snowden.
No, it wasn't him. I didn't recognize the voice at all. It was just like they called for someone. I didn't even get a chance to answer before they said the number was wrong. I thought I'd eventually meet the caller, but I never recognized the voice again, so I thought it was just you messing with me, like those other times.
Not every weird thing you did was my fault. Jeez.
HMMM.
Golly, that's funny. Your little phone prank suddenly reminded me of a strange thing that happened to me once.
Strange?
Well, okay. So this happened during one of my earlier resets. Back when I was trying to make friends and help people, like that'd do any lasting good. Anyways, in this timeline I actually went back to Dr. Alphys and explained what happened. Most of it anyway. Acted all forgiving and such. I even offered to be her lab assistant. Suggested that with my unique experience that I could maybe find a way to reverse the effects of determination on those amalgams, and make them normal again.
Did you ever find a way to heal them?
Nope. Nothing I tried ever worked. Those freaks are stuck that way forever. I mean, obviously most of it was for selfish reasons. But I was really trying. So one day in the lab, we were working on that.
I'll be right back. Just need to grab some storage.
When one of those face clump amalgams shows up, those things weren't like the other amalgamates. I don't even think Alphys knew who or what they were. All the other test subjects were accounted for in the other amalgams, and these things seemed to mostly keep themselves hidden. Well, I figured if things really went wrong, I could always just reset. And I was curious to see what would happen, so... That was a huge mistake. Just imagine living inside your own worst memories, and everyone else's. Forever.
Let go. Let it go. Oh my God. Okay.
Why, yeah, I'm okay. And the weirdest thing is, I never saw that guy again. Not in any reset. Like he only existed in that bad memory. But now I can't help wondering.
You think a memory head prank called me?
Ugh, no, stupid. I'm saying I wonder if the Dr. Gaster I saw in those memories maybe was the same guy the mystery voice called you about.
But, if neither of us ever saw him, then, what does it mean?
How should I know?
I don't know. I'm just curious now.
That flower out getting sun or something, kid.
Oh. I thought you were napping, Sans.
I'm on break from the nap. Otherwise I get penalized for napping overtime. You know, sometimes I wish you wouldn't talk to that guy so much.
Why?
Just not all that fond of what you discuss is all.
I know, I thought that's why you didn't want me to talk to you about it. I thought I was just sharing that with Flowey.
Never mind. That's none of my business.
But you must think it is, because you've been listening. Sans? Did you ever know a Dr. Gaster?
No.
But Flowey said.
Flebby ain't me last I checked. I'd know if I knew some doctor. Listen, kid, my nap break's almost over. And I'm sure you wanna get to your cartoons.
Gotta stay on schedule, huh?
Yoop. You know, Papyrus thinks that sleeping isn't useful, but I know for a fact that it's quite useful. A whole lot of bad things never get done when you're too lazy to do them.
Sans?
Yeah, kid.
What sort of bad things?
You found the key to my workshop, didn't you?
MMHMM.
What I left in there. Those sorts of bad things.
I remember seeing a picture of you with a bunch of other people. You looked happy. How was that bad?
You don't have to be sad or angry to do wrong, Frisk.
Sans, everyone's on the surface now. And I think they're happy. I want you to be happy, too. You deserve it.
I dunno, you two, this doesn't sound like a good idea. I mean, I kinda just wanted to leave the amalgams with their own families. I'm sure they really don't want to think about their time in the lab again.
I know. I really want to find out more about this doctor guy. It's confusing to me that no one knows or remembers him.
I'm still confused as to how you think any of the amalgams can help.
Well, the memory heads are the only clue we have so far, and you said you didn't know anything about them.
I didn't. I just couldn't track them. I didn't want to.
I know. But I thought maybe one of the other amalgams did. We could, maybe figure out more from there.
And that's assuming you can get anything but gibberish out of those things, anyway.
Maybe not. but I'd like to try.
Well, oh okay. I'll give their families a call, try to arrange a time to meet. But, just questions, and we stop if they get too upset.
Elfies, we still got that cosplay to make and the buttons to finish. And packing, too.
And not until after the con, okay?
Deal.
Sure, wouldn't want anything important to get in the way of some nerd gathering.
We can wait 2 weeks.
So, I know it's a lot to ask of you, but I'm really glad you guys are here today. Frisk and I just want to ask you a couple of questions. A. About your tea time in the laboratory. Why, you remember the human, right?
Jokes.
There's no right or wrong answers. It's not a test. And when we're done, I brought you all some chips and candy for your trouble.
Oh, nice. I want chips.
Okay. Now, first. Do any of you know where these amalgams came from? I was never close enough to study them.
They come from bad memories. Very sticky.
How do they start appearing?
When things became bad. Bad memories were there before.
Reaper Bird, please, I can't understand you when you all speak at once.
Bad memories both old and new took form with our left overs.
Do you know whose old memories?
No. It's bad. Someone failed before the doctor. We felt it all the time.
You felt someone else there, but don't know who?
The dogs will know.
Endogeny?
The dogs were guards for the first lab. The dogs liked being around all the skeletons. They told me so before they fell down.
Reaper Bird, please, I cannot understand you.
Darker yet darker. The darkness keeps growing. The shadows cutting deeper. Photon readings negative. This next experiment seems very interesting. What do you two think?
I think that's enough. Why, you all did great. This was very helpful.
Was this actually helpful?
It's enough for me to talk to Sans again.
Did you have a nice visit with the doctor?
Doctor gave us chips.
Hey, that's really cool.
What's with that look? Bad day at school, kid?
Sans, I wanna talk with you.
I hope it's about letting me sell hot dogs at that bake sale you got coming up. Now I know Toriel just wants the kids for that, but
I want to talk about what happened to you in the underground lab, with Dr. Gaster.
I told you, I don't know any.
Sans, why are you lying? I know you knew him.
Well, you're the little detective. What else do you think you know?
I know you were working on something with him. Some sort of machine that broke. You wanted to help everyone, but it didn't work out, and something happened to Dr. Gaster that made everyone forget him. Everyone except you.
Well, then cool. You got all the important stuff.
Sans, what were you working on? Why is it bothering you so much?
I'm fine, kidder. It's not a story for you.
Why not?
Because I know you, Frisk. If I tell you, you're gonna get it into your determined little head that it's something you have to do something about. Something you got to fix. You've already fixed things for all the monsters. Can't do anything about this.
If I can't do anything about it, then what's it going to hurt telling me?
You're really not gonna let this go, huh?
Nope.
Well, if it'll at least get you to get off my backbone about it. You gotta understand, kid, we were stuck down in the dark for a long time. Ages before the 4 humans showed up. We got desperate, trying to find ways to save ourselves. A lot of scientists came and went, but Dr. Gaster was the most brilliant of them. He discovered what we thought was the key, the save file. The marker of each person's position in time and space. Damn, but that was an exciting time. We got a whole team together to research save files. Couldn't even tell you how thrilled I was to join. We worked together, and built a machine. It was designed to access save files. We thought, maybe if we made it big enough, powerful enough, we could send all the monsters back in time. To before the war between the humans and monsters. Then we'd know better, make it so we were never banished underground in the first place. Except we were missing the key ingredient, and that was determination. With no human souls around, we just didn't even know to look for it. There were a lot of tests on monsters. Trying to get them to save, to load, to reset. All of them failed. All but the first test subject were lost forever. But we just kept pushing on. The doc kept insisting, a few monsters lost, but it'd be worth the sacrifice to save everyone. Just a few more. We'll get it next time. We never did. And brilliant monster that he was, he built the core. Surely, using all of the energy powering the underground would be enough to get the time machine to work. Enough to free us all. Spoilers, Frisk. It wasn't enough. It was enough to tell a real bad joke, though.
A bad joke?
That machine, with the core, it did something to the space-time continuum all right. Some kind of accident, but it split it open, made it accessible. Just not by us. Everything went wrong, and Dr. Gaster got to see that accident up close and personal. He fell into the core while time and space were out of it, and that was that. It was suddenly like he never existed at all. And that was only the first time I failed trying to save someone.
But, it was just an accident. And you were trying to help everyone.
Do you get it yet, Frisk? Stop and think for a second, here. We've been on the surface for, what, a year now? And time's moved normally. Now, you know humans have a whole lot of determination. Some of them almost as much as you. So why don't you see humans just resetting the timeline whenever something goes terribly wrong for them? Every time they die unexpectedly. It's the underground, Frisk. It's just that place. Whatever the time machine did to it. In order to reset, you need a save file, the determination to use it, and you have to be in the underground, or have been through it. Monsters can't hack all 3 of those. Only humans that fall into the underground can. That's the joke. We were trying so hard to prevent the humans from ever sending us into the underground. And instead we just gave them the power to send us back there over, and over, and over again. Hilarious, isn't it?
How come you're the only one who remembers what happened?
Oh, let's just say that I didn't come out of that accident unscathed, myself. I really don't envy you, kid. Responsibility is a real tough burden. Can you blame me for wanting nothing to do with it?
I don't blame you. I just don't want you to blame yourself, either.
Well, there you have it. The bare bones truth, just for you. And you see? I really am okay.
You are?
I guess sometimes, I think about how it'd be real nice. just to let him see where we are now, that it all worked out. Just one chance to tell him I'm sorry. But it is what it is, right? So now you know. Whatever you choose to do with that info, well, it's up to you.
I promise you, I won't reset.
You're a good kid, Frisk.
Ugh, you're still on about the doctor guy?
I think it's still bothering Sans. The monsters are all free now, but he's still worrying. I just want him to have some real peace.
And you really think finding and saving this Dr. Gaster would help?
Yeah, actually. I think it'd help. And not just for Sans, for Gaster's sake, too.
So, sounds like you're gonna reset, huh?
No. I promised everyone I wouldn't. I promised you.
Then how are you supposed to save him? If this Gaster guy really got fractured into time and space by the core, then the only way to reach him is back in the underground.
I know.
So what will you do?
I don't know. I want to help, but I can't reset, either.
I think I have an idea.
What?
You'll have to go back into the underground, before Gaster had his little accident with the core.
How would I do that if I won't reset?
It's simple. Don't use your save file.
Huh? How?
Just let me explain. Every soul's got its own save place. That includes monsters. Monsters just don't have the determination to do anything with their save file. But, if you absorb a monster soul, you'll have two saves, and the power and determination to use them. Just load the monster's save state instead of your own, and you can go back to their save point, without undoing our timeline.
But, I'd have to kill a monster to get their soul. I won't do that.
What if you just borrowed a soul instead?
Huh?
The amalgams, they're so full of determination that they can't be killed. And they've still got all the souls of the monsters that made them up. If you can just extract one and absorb it, you can use its save and then return it to the amalgam when you finish. Besides, didn't some of those amalgams say that the dogs were around at the time? I'll bet more than one of those has got a save point you can use.
How do you know I'll even be able to use it like that?
Silly. Don't you remember? I know it works because I've done it. A human and a monster soul together in one body has immense power. As long as you got a monster whose save point was before Gaster's accident, you can probably go back, warn him and save him so that he's back in the timeline, then have the power to come back here, all without resetting.
Do you really think all that would work?
I think you could try it and it wouldn't reset where we are now.
Wow, I didn't think you cared that much about trying to save Dr. Gaster too, Flowey.
Oh please, I don't care about that guy. I'm just curious to see if you could really pull it off. I've seen so many other timelines already, but finally, this would be something new.
Okay. I'll do it.
Okay, no, that is definitely a bad idea. You want Tita, extract a soul from one of the amalgams? Are you nuts? It was that messing around with souls that caused all the trouble in the first place.
I promise I wouldn't hurt it. I'd never want to do that. And it'd go back to endogeny the second I got back.
It's just too dangerous. Do you know who would kill me if anything bad happened to you? Everyone. Everyone would kill me, including me.
Alphys, I wouldn't ask you to help if I thought I wouldn't come out okay. I wouldn't want you in trouble, either.
Besides, it's time travel weirdness, isn't it? From our position, they'll be gone and back immediately. It'll be like Frisk was never gone at all.
So you say?
I mean, sheesh, you don't even have to do the hard part. You just need to supervise.
Do you really think it's so important to find this guy? With these kinds of risks?
I just really want to help. It'd save him, it'd help Sans. I thought maybe you, too, and I thought this, at least this was something I could do. I could really set everything right.
I mean, gosh, from the sound of it, it seems like this Dr. Gaster guy really screwed up when he just wanted to help everyone. But now he's got no chance to do better, he just gets to be lost and forgotten forever. Don't you think that even people who screw up big time deserve a second chance? Wouldn't it be nice to help give someone that second chance?
I know you'll make sure nothing bad happens. And we can help someone who really needs it.
Fine.
Thanks, Alphas.
And now, you're here because Frisk needs to ask for your help, okay? They're going to borrow one of your souls. Just to borrow, for a short while. They're not gonna hurt it, and they'll give it right back to you. You see, there's another monster out there, still in the underground. They're lost and forgotten, all alone. T the human is going to go rescue them. And you're the only one that can help. You're a big, brave guy, right? You're a good dog. I know you can help the human. So will you help Frisk save the other monster? Good boy. I promise they'll take good care of you.
You think you're ready, Frisk?
As ready as I can be.
Good. Just make sure you load the right file, and you already know your way around the underground. I'm sure just talking to the guy with your powers on hand will get Gaster to believe you and fix his fate.
Why yeah. It's gotta work. So, can I borrow one soul?
Uck. Frisk, get over here.
I'm not sure how to get it.
It's not just gonna give it to you. You're gonna have to force one out.
But...
Oh, come on. It's an amalgam. You can't even wound it, it'll just absorb any damage. But the aggression fighting is going to be the only thing good enough to loosen one soul up from that mess. Get it?
Right. I just need one soul.
Hey, are you sure you really need to go about this like?
Frisk. Frisk, come pick me up. Now listen. Do you want to save Gaster, or not?
Yes.
Okay, fine. But remember, even if you can't kill it, that monster soul won't last more than a second outside the host. Do you get what I'm saying? You cannot hesitate. You gotta grab it immediately, so either do it, or don't.
Oh, okay. I just...
Yura. I swear, I gotta do everything myself. Just give us one lousy soul.
No, I changed my mind. This isn't good.
Now. Frisk, there it is. Grab it now. There. You got it. See? That wasn't so. Frisk, can you hear me?
What's happening?
You're just absorbing that soul. Just stay calm and give it a minute. And don't drop me.
I have to load.
You idiot. Don't load anything yet. You're not completely integrated. I'm still attached to.
Have to.
Frisk, wait. No, not yet.
We need to stop.
Frisk.
I'm free. My soul is free. You freed me. Thank you, good human. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, Frisk. Frisk, you have to cancel right now. I don't have a soul. Without a vessel, I'm gonna die. I don't know how. Which file am I loading? You don't know? You don't know? I thought it'd be obvious to you.
I'm sorry I barked and growled at you. You are good.
Just cancel. I'm not supposed to be here, Frisk. If you pick wrong.
Don't. You are good and I'm free now.
I have to load something. Which one?
Any of them.
None of them.
File 3 loaded.
I'm back! I'm me! I'm me again! Wait a second. Are we all... Oh no.
What on earth is going on then?
This wasn't supposed to happen this way.
I'm me again! Haha, look at my happy self. It's not just you, idiot. Frisk, you messed this up. Now I've got limbs again. I can run again. I can move! Wait, no! Stop, guys! What's happening? Why are we all the same dog? Ah! 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 Ah!
Hey, look, he's chasing his tail.
Honestly, brother, every day that dumb dog gets weirder and weirder.
Sans! Papyrus! I know this is crazy to hear, but I'm actually really a human. I'm from the future, and in future where we're friends, and the barrier was destroyed, and all the monsters are on the surface again, and I came back in time to warn you that your friend Gaster is going to be in the accident in the core, and unless you stop him, he'll be lost in time and space forever!
Wow, you're chatty today, aren't you, pup?
Oh, he just wants a bone. Nah, eh?
Don't work too hard, pup.
Is this some kind of joke? Are you seriously telling me that we're all back in time in the same body with immense powers, but can only communicate with barking? We're done for. We're stuck as a stupid dog, and it's all your fault, Frisk. This was completely your idea, Flowey. But you screwed it up. It was supposed to be all of just you and the other soul in the past. You were supposed to finish absorbing that soul first. I'm sorry, I got scared. It was all happening so fast. Just so you know, I'm okay with this. Now just hold on. Okay, I can still reach my save file. I can still load where I am in the present. Well, then load us back to the present so you can just try again. Flowey, I don't think I can try again. The first time was already too much for me to handle. And the doctor didn't look happy. She probably wouldn't let you take another soul. So what? We're stuck like this until we find Gaster? We're here at the lab, at the right time. He has to be nearby. And we can go back to the present as soon as we save him. This is our only chance. How are we supposed to communicate any of this? We'll find a way. We just have to stay determined. What's the deal here? I'm an outside guard. I'm not allowed inside the lab. Big deal. We don't have time for rules. What we need is a shortcut. Woof! How did you know we could do that? Sans did something similar a lot. I figured right now we could too. Let's go. Okay, how about the next shortcut we take someplace useful? First try. Let's find Gaster. Wait, where's the time machine? Who cares? Where's that scientist?
You lost, pup. How'd you get in here, anyway? Guess Papyrus was right. Sorry, no bones for you, pup.
Hey. Why are you away from your post? Guards aren't allowed inside the lab without proper security clearance.
I'm away from my post because I'm really a godlike monster human flower from the future on a secret mission.
Sheesh, haven't even gotten your emerald yet and it's already going to your head. Ugh. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, I guess he just got overexcited. It's his big day today, right?
Woof!
How? Forget this, I'm going out for a smoke.
Okay. As you all know, Frisk has fallen down. They're still alive. Just not waking up. But if there's one thing we know about Frisk, it's that they always stay determined, no matter what. So, that's what we're going to have to do, too. Papyrus, I want you and Sans to take turns watching over Frisk. I don't think a human hospital can help us now. So we'll keep them in their room. I want you to let me know the instant anything changes.
Yes, Toriel. I'll never leave Frisk's side, and once they awaken, I'll make sure the first thing they see is the beautiful face of their friend.
We're switching off, bro.
Or the decently nice face of their other friend.
I'll have to call the embassy and try to explain what I can. Undyne, I think I'm going to need your help at the school. I can't handle both places at once.
Right.
And Fives, how is that amalgam doing?
Not good. Endogeny won't respond to anything I say or do. I don't think they know how to handle one of their souls being gone. They're just lashing out at everything.
Then it's not safe to move them. They're going to have to stay in the garage for now. Fives, you will have to take care of them. And you will not to go near Frisk again.
Why yes, Mom.
Okay. That's all for you for now. If you'll excuse me, I've got to make one more phone call.
Yes, hello.
Ascor? This is Toriel. I need you to come over right away. Something's happened, and I need your assistance.
Oh, absolutely. I'll come right over. What do you need me for?
I need you and your gardening abilities to make sure that no matter what, this flower does not die. Ascor?
I'll be there. My time has come.
Frisk, Flurry and Greatest Dog's shortcut takes them to the garbage dump in Waterfall, where they run into some familiar faces. Frisk wasn't thinking too hard on where they needed to shortcut to, just that they needed to get out of the lab as quickly as possible. Unfortunately for them, the shortcut opening dropped them into one of the hardest places to forget, the garbage dump. The dog leapt out of the shortcut only to land face first into a pile of soggy trash. It remained stuck with its nose in an empty bottle of syrup before finally backing out of the pile and shaking off the excess garbage. I thought you said next shortcut we were going someplace useful. Flurry growled. Greatest Dog, on the other hand, seemed absolutely thrilled about being surrounded by garbage, as dogs often were. This is the most useful. Look at all this stuff. We're sure to find the scientist here. Flurry remained unconvinced. Seriously? Frisk took control of the dog again, taking a bit more time to examine their surroundings. It seemed like this place had changed very little between the past and their last explorations through it. I don't get it, we didn't see Dr. Gaster at all inside the lab. But everyone was still working there like normal. This has to be the right time, maybe he was just out to see the sights or visit a friend. Greatest Dog suggested. I never got the impression he was a see the sights kinda monster, Flurry said. Although truth be told, none of them had strong impressions to go off of either way. But if he's not in the lab, then it's worth it to check out other parts of the underground while we're here. He has to be somewhere down here. Working off of that pragmatism, the dog set off into the garbage dump, Frisk still in control. Maybe the scientist was here to scour for parts. On the one hand, it'd make sense, there was so much old technology down here still available for use, but on the other hand, wouldn't he send a younger assistant to look for things while he was in the lab doing the important work? The more Frisk thought about it, the more it felt like something here just wasn't adding up. And being in the state they were now, they couldn't hide those thoughts from Flurry or Greatest Dog, either. If he's supposed to be here but he's not, then what are we missing? It was difficult to sniff out anything in the garbage dump with so many competing smells, but they still knew where they were going. Frisk edged the dog to a halt as they rounded a particularly large mountain of trash. What if that angry dummy was still around here? When did they first become a dummy, anyway? They really didn't want to deal with trying to negotiate with that weird dummy in this state. They took a quick scan of the passage ahead, but it appeared to be empty. Unfortunately, they didn't quite notice that someone else was exploring the trash piles with them until it was too late. Oh my god. A pair of big purple paws suddenly scooped the dog right out of the ankle-deep water and nearly squeezed the air out of them. All three got rattled by the surprise hug, although it didn't take too long to figure out who had grabbed them. Bratty, come look at this adorable cat I found. The gator monster slipped down a pile of mattresses from above, dressed in the most hideous mismatched accessories a person could find, and came to a stop beside her bestie. I think that's a dog, catty dog, cat, same difference, Bratty. Let's keep it. Let's eat it. Fletty took control of the dog long enough to shoot Bratty a death glare. Yeah, just try it. Of course, neither the girls heard much more than disgruntled barking from the dog, and erupted into laughter. Oh my god, no, Bratty. Fine, but I'm gonna pet it for the next 6 hours. Look at its dumb little face. No, I'm gonna pet it for the next 7 hours. Bratty reached down and began scratching the dog behind its ear. Fletty, still in control, just lowered even more. This is such a waste of time. If we don't get moving soon I'm gonna bite her hand off. Greatest dog seemed more than thrilled at the prospect of pets, though. No! We can't leave your own pets. Pets are the best. All that was interrupted by the arrival of a third monster, a familiar yellow, reptilian monster. All three recognized Ulfi's right away, although she did look a whole lot younger, happier and healthier, and she was dressed in the same kinds of garish clothes as Bratty and Catty. Ulfi's arms were full of old DVD and VHS cases, and at least a couple of waterlogged magazines. The covers depicted what looked like Japanese and Korean pop stars in outlandish makeup and wild hair, although some of the titles were long washed out. Hey, guys. I think this series is still in good condition, plus I was looking through these magazines and I think there's some good ideas from my friend, you know, he was talking about the show we watched together and I think he might like. She trailed off as she realized that Bratty and Catty were doting over the dog. Oh. You found a new friend. Frisk took control again as Ulfi's approached. It was hard not to be taken aback by her appearance here, considering the state that they had last left her in. Even in just her tone of voice, she seemed a lot more worry-free now. Everything seemed to be off the rails from what they'd expected in their original plan as it was. They were suddenly struck with a thought. Whenever they got back, would it really be like no time passed at all in the present? Will Ulfi's and Sans and everyone still be okay? What if time was moving differently for them in different save files? Suddenly they weren't so sure on much of it. But Frisk still had to try and communicate. Ulfi's, can you understand us? Ulfi's lack of answer to them served as answer enough. She did set down her pile of trash-turned treasures to give the dog another ear scratch, though. It's a cat, and I'm gonna keep it. It's a dog, and we're gonna keep it. Ulfi smiled down at the dog, but couldn't help noticing that the dog wasn't giving back the usual dumb panting dog smile of a dog being pet. If anything, it just looked really anxious. Ulfi's expression softened, and she managed to take the dog out of Catty's tight grasp. Look at him, he seems a little stressed out. Is something bothering you, little guy? Oh my gosh, Ulfi's, you're so good with dogs. You're gonna be a crazy dog lady with like 20 dogs someday, Ulfi's. Frisk weighed over their options without being able to talk directly. They couldn't very well explain their mission or ask any of the three if they knew where Gaster was. If they tried to demonstrate some of their abilities here now, most of which Frisk could only guess they were capable of, that might just cause more questions than give them answers. It seemed like their only option was to keep on the hunt for him, and yet, Frisk felt terribly awkward leaving Ulfi's like this, knowing what was in all their futures. Wasn't there something they could do? Greatest dog, however, did have something to say. Doctor. I know you'll just be trying your best. I'm sorry things don't go right. But remember, it doesn't mean that you're bad. I still know you were good despite it all. Ulfi didn't understand any of the dog's barkings. It wasn't clear if those barks got across any of Greatest Dog's meaning to her, but they at least seemed to leave an impression. She smiled at them and carefully set them back down on the ground. It seemed like Ulfi was most content to send them on their way. Bratty and Catty both looked disappointed at the loss of their fuzzy friend. Man. I was gonna name it Trash Dog. I was gonna name it Garbage Pooch. I think maybe he's got his own important things he's looking for, too. We should let him go find them, Ulfi said. The dog shook itself out, and with Frisk still in control, took the opportunity to head for the damp exit. They stopped briefly, just long enough to give Ulfi's another hopeful glance. They had to believe that things would turn out okay, for all of their sakes. Ulfi waved, and then stooped back down to pick up the goodies she'd found. She shot a joking glance towards her two younger friends. Well, it's a good thing I let him go, otherwise you would have compromised with a name like the garbage dog trash. The echoes of the three friends' howling laughter carried up with the dog as they exited the dump and ran towards the dwellings of Waterfall.
Can we get back to Hotland? I don't think Dr. Gaster is anywhere around this place. There's still at least one more room in Waterfall I want to check. I think we're close to it.
Come on. I gotta get some training in if I'm gonna be in the Royal Guard. So you gotta be my sparring partner.
Filthy fighting. Nope, nope. Go wash you spear.
And GGGAAAH. Hey, dogs are easy sparring partners, right? Yeah, awesome training. Hey, dog. Let's spar, you and me, right now.
Oh, right now I'm actually a godlike monster-human-flower hybrid from the future, on a secret mission to save a scientist from being lost in space and time. Let's not fight. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Everyone knows that any fight with a dog can be won with a stick.
What should we do? I have an idea.
Flirt.
Oh my god. Frisk, did you just forget that we're a dog? I thought it might still be effective.
And GGGAAH. Stop messing around. You don't have to hold back against me. Okay, so you're pretty tough for just a dog. But I'm still going to win.
You wanna fight? Fine, then let's fight! How's this for practice? Ah ha 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 ha! Wah ha 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 ha! Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! Golly, been forever since I've ever gotten to have this kind of fun. Flowey! Ha 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 ha! Ah ha 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 ha!
Wait, I need my turn.
Yes, yes. Flowey, stop! We can't reset! Sorry, I got carried away. I wasn't thinking.
I lost. To a little dog. All that power, but you're still showing me mercy? I get it now. You've shown me what I have to do. Sometimes the enemy won't wait their turn. Sometimes they won't be what you expect. If I'm gonna be strong enough, I have to be prepared for anything, even mercy when it's least expected. Thanks, dog. I might have lost for now, but next time we meet, I'll be up to the challenge.
Dirty. Cheaters.
Undyne made her way to the kitchen table, where she dropped off a tote bag full of papers from Toriel. When the former queen had requested her help at the school, somehow she hadn't imagined that helping great quizzes was part of that. How boring. She just wasn't cut out for this kind of paperwork, even if it was for kids. But Toriel did need the help now, so she'd just have to put up with it. A quick glance outside the window told her where Toriel was at the moment, out in the backyard, talking to Asgore. The king had practically set up a second home in Toriel's backyard. He was over so often, non-stop doting on that empty flower. Apparently giving Asgore some kind of project to do that involved helping something like had done wonders for him, even if he was just as devastated about Frisk and Fleur as everyone else. At least it seemed to be paying off. Fleur's body hadn't wilted yet. If anything, it seemed to be growing bigger and brighter than ever, with Asgore putting all of his efforts into its health. He'd moved it to a much larger pot with better soil and everything. But there was someone else's well-being that Undyne was more concerned about right now. She wound through the kitchen to the laundry and storage hall, with the door that led to the now barricaded garage. And sitting in front of the door was Elphies, wearing a days-old shirt, surrounded by barely touched cans of soda and TV dinners, plus a comforter and pillow without the case. She stared blankly at a small tablet computer in her claws, which was currently blaring something in Japanese, almost loud enough to drown out sounds of snarling and howling in the garage. Undyne swallowed. This was the worst she'd seen her girlfriend in a long time, and she just didn't know if she was going to get better soon. She knelt down to Elphies' face level. "Hey, Elphies. I'm heading home here. You wanna come with tonight?" Elphies gave a non-committal shrug, not looking up from the tablet. What are you watching, anyway? Mew Mew Kissy Cute too, Elphies mumbled. Undyne's eye whitened, and she looked about, ready to knock the tablet out of Elphies' claws as if it were a word bomb. She sputtered a bit before nearly yelling, why would you subject yourself to that? That anima's total trash. You said so yourself." "Because I deserve trash, anima," Elphies replied. And this was what Undyne was afraid of. She sat herself down next to Elphies, and slapped a hand down over the tablet screen, forcing Elphies to look up at her. "Elphies, listen. You have to stop beating yourself up about this. It's not your fault." "How is it not, Undyne? I was there, and I didn't stop it." Undyne knew this conversation was going to be painful, but they'd been putting it off for too long already. "It wasn't your idea. Come on, you know how Frisk is. Once they set their mind on something, they do it no matter how dangerous, and you couldn't have known it'd turn out this way." "I know, but they're still just a kid, and I'm the adult. I should have just told them no. You told us you were just trying to help, and that's the problem." Elphies almost shouted back, hugging the tablet back to her chest. "I should have known that whenever I try to help people, I just screw it up for everyone." Undyne remained silent for a moment, and Elphies just took the silence to continue, choking up a bit on her words. "Toriel won't even talk to me. Endogamy is a mess, and now they can't even see their families. Everything I try to do to help, I just mess up." She hiccuped a little on the last thought. Sometimes I wonder why you were sticking around at all." Undyne drew in closer, desperate to get Elphies to understand just what she was seeing. Elphies, that's not true. You're the one who got Mtetan to where he is now, helped him realize his dream. You guided Frisk through Hotland and the core when everyone else was trying to stop them. You wouldn't even have gotten your old job as royal scientist if you weren't so good at building things in the first place. And you succeeded at the toughest things of all, owning up to all that went wrong. And I know I wouldn't have been able to get through half of the battles I went through without thinking of you." This was enough to get Elphies to look up and face Undyne, although her eyes still remained a bit teary. Undyne continued, getting more fired up now. "You're not the only one who's made some big mistakes. Your problem is that you see the good in everyone else, but you won't see it in yourself. And well, if you find that too hard, then I'm gonna have to see that good in you for you. Ulfi snuffled and wiped at her eyes, looking a little bit embarrassed. You Undyne, I know things don't look good now, but I also know they're gonna get better, and you're gonna help with that, just like you did before. While Undyne tried to stay enthused, a bit of a worried crack seeped into her voice. So you gotta stay tough for me, alright? Ulfi managed to pull a very small smile the first time she'd done so in a while. She didn't lift herself off the floor, though. I'll try my best. Undyne, her smile dropped back down again as another particularly long and loud howl came from the garage behind her. But I don't think I'm ready to come home tonight. Undyne didn't respond, but just seemed to think to herself, and then marched back out of the room. Ulfi sighed and curled up tighter in on herself. She sat in silence for a minute, staring blankly at the now paused enema. A sudden loud thump right beside her startled her out of silence, making her jump. She adjusted her glasses and saw that Undyne had dropped the big stack of student quizzes next to her. She looked up to see Undyne standing over her, certain as ever. Okay. Then here's the deal. I'm gonna get into the kitchen and make you the best damned indy you've had all month. Then I'm gonna sit down right here and grade these stupid and boring quizzes. But what I need you to do is find us some enema that isn't trash for us both to have on. If you can't leave, then I'll just stay here and we'll have a sleepover in the laundry room like the weird adults we are. Sound good? After a moment of wide-eyed staring, Ulfi nodded. It honestly did sound really good. Why yeah. That sounds great. Undyne shot her a huge sharp-toothed grin and headed back out into the kitchen. It was impossible to miss her continued boisterous yelling down the hall. Papyrus. Go let Sans have his turn on watch duty, and get out here to help me cook. We're making lasagna. There really wasn't much else Ulfi could do but smile at that. She still didn't feel like she was in a good place yet, but still, she was better. She looked back down at the tablet, closed Mew Mew Kissy Cute 2, and began to scroll through her folder of favorite series.
He's not in here either. Finally, I can get that artifact. Seriously? You want that dumb thing? You never got this artifact in all your resets, Flowey? No, it took me so many tries just to play that stupid piano. And then, every time I managed to get in... So screw it, it's not worth it. No, this is the legendary fetch ball of fetching. The most powerful, most mysterious, most awesome artifact in all the underground. Only the greatest and purest of dogs can possess its untold magic. Legend says that during the war, it was used for... Yeah, okay, whatever. So what does it actually do? Yeah, how does it work? Okay, well first, you throw it. Yeah. And then, you catch it. Okay. And then, you bring it back with you. Okay, that's nice. Let's go. No, I still want it. Oh my god. You guys, we are not absorbing the artifact. Well, I'm the monster ambassador here, so I say we have a democratic vote. All those in favor of absorbing the artifact, say woof. Woof, 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 woof. No! You both are awful.
Sans. It's a miracle. Frisk woke up. They're okay now, everything is fine again.
Wait, really?
Yes, really. They're up and talking and everything. I knew they couldn't resist the melodious voice of the great Papyrus singing them back to consciousness. I'm going to go tell Toriel and Asgore right now. Naya, hey.
Kid. Now, you're awake, you about scared us all to death there.
Where am I?
You're home now, kid. Remember?
Home? Well, that is interesting.
Maybe we can try talking to Papyrus again. With what? More barking? Just something.
Hey, it's you again. Aren't you supposed to be back guarding the lab, or are you here to help me move all this stuff up to the car? Got the armor, right?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to have that armor that makes the dogs bigger? Why have we been on all fours all this time? Oh, you have to earn the magic armor. Today was the day I was going to get my armor. I was so excited, I want to remember this day forever. I guess we missed that by now. Oops.
Oh, fine. Honestly, dog, it's a tragedy that me, the great Papyrus, has to run obnoxious gopher errands. But I suppose that is the lot of all lab apprentices, and while I'm certain they recognize I've got the brains for this science work, to be truthful, I've never been too interested in it. Too much time at a desk. Sans is the one that likes that sort of no exercise, sit-down work. Now, being a guard or a soldier in the king's army, that would be exciting. Getting to bravely fend off the human attacks and really keep everyone safe, don't you think so, too? I suppose you are right, it is a moot point now. We haven't seen any humans in years and years, and all that won't matter if we stop the war to begin with, and while I am excited to see the surface world, it is a terrible shame that I'll never get to use my unique and powerful special attack. Now, the beauty of my special attack is, hey. You dumb dog, come back here with my special attack.
You idiot, we're trying to write something for you. Ugh.
Little menace. That bone does not belong to you. Honestly, what has gotten into you? Oh, I know you're just a dog and you can't help yourself when it comes to bones, especially one as nice as my special attack. I suppose I overreacted. I guess I am just anxious about this next experiment. There's something that's been bothering me for a while now, but I just can't quite put my phalange on it.
Hey, bro. I thought you wolf gods and all that stuff up at the court by now.
I would have been there and back already, but this mysterious mutt intercepted me and then attempted to make off with my special attack.
Hey pup, there you are. We were looking all over the lab for you. I got to say, I'm real curious about that trick you pulled.
Well, since you're here now, can you actually help me haul all these things up to the car?
You know, why don't you go ahead, Pap? I'll catch up with you.
After Papyrus boarded the elevator with the cart full of equipment, Sans looked back at the dog. He sighed, rubbing at the back of his skull. You've been acting out of sorts today, pup. That little portal shortcut thing. How did you do that? The three tried to think of a way that they could possibly answer Sans, but couldn't think up any good response before he just went ahead. Rhetorical question, I guess, since I don't speak dog. But I can't help but feel you know more than you're letting on, which I gotta say, is a bit of a bod to me. Seems like a whole bunch of stuff's been going, well, weird lately. And I ain't sure how much of it is fate or our doing anymore. Do you think we should try writing in the dirt again? Fleddy suggested silently to the other three. We don't have a stick. Or a bone. Losing the bone seemed like the greatest tragedy to greatest dog. Hold up, maybe Sans will tell us what we need to know about Gaster right now. He can get pretty talkative when he feels like it, and you just listen, Frisk thought. They looked up at Sans expectantly, willing him to continue. After these last experiments losing that poor kid, I'm starting to have a lot of doubts. Like I'm missing something really important. He stared down at the mostly scratched out name in the dirt close by, as if contemplating it. Finally, however, he seized on an idea. Hey, I know, pup. How about we play a little game of 20 questions? 1 tail wag means yes, and 2 tail wags means no. Sound good to you? Okay, this could possibly get them somewhere. The dog wagged its tail once for yes, looking excited. They couldn't ask things themselves, but they could possibly lead Sans on. Sans raised an eye socket at them. Glad you game, pup. Well. First question. Did you get those abilities from the experiments? The dog shook its tail twice for no. I never even saw much of those. Greatest dog throwing, although he didn't really need to remind the other two. Okay, have you seen our first test subject at all? First test subject? Who was that? Frisk asked. No idea, Fleddy replied. They shook their tail twice for no. Sans looked disappointed. What about all the ones after? Any hint of them around? Another no tail shake. Sans sighed. Guess I shouldn't have gotten my hopes up about that. Okay. Here's a big one for ya. We've been monitoring what we can see of the timeline as best we can, and sometime in the future, things start to get screwy. Timelines will start and stop, jump around from place to place, loop back in on each other, and then we got one that just ends everything. This isn't what we were working for at all, and it's really starting to scare me. There's some anomaly that's messing around with time. He looked down at the dog intently. Do you know anything about what's causing that, pup? This question stunned all three of them into confused silence for a moment, before they erupted into an internal debate. Is he talking about you or me? Fleddy asked. Well, maybe he's talking about both of you. Or all of us together. Greatest dog tried to interject. Oh come on, I did the most resets out of any of us. He probably means the ones I did. Fleddy said. Yeah, but what does he mean? Ends everything? Can that happen? I don't know, I never tried something I didn't think I couldn't reset. So does that mean we do know what's causing it or we don't? I don't know. He needs to be more specific. Apparently this internal debate went on too long with no actual response in the form of tail wags, so Sans decided to drop it. Yana, never mind. Maybe that was too complicated for you, pup. They just looked disappointed at my Sans. Right now this seemed to be raising more questions for them than answering ones. Sans tapped at his jawbone, trying to think over a good response. Okay, I got one, maybe 2 more for ya. With all these things you seem capable of doing, do you know what'll happen in the future? This question, they could actually answer in the affirmative. The dog wagged its tail yes. If Sans had eyebrows, they definitely would have gone up now. As it was, he just looked very interested, and leaned a little closer. Then I do have one more. In the future, does everything turn out okay? The dog hesitated here for a moment, unsure what answer to give. After all, there was the future ahead of Sans that they did know, and then there was the future ahead of them that they could only guess at now. What was the correct way to answer? Just when it seemed like they couldn't put it off any further, they all silently worked out a response and gave Sans one tail wag. Sans leaned back and gave a little sigh of relief. He smiled down at the dog, in that way you could tell that his smile was genuine. Thanks, pup. I don't know if you're right or not, but I think that's just what I needed to hear before they could react further. Sans then headed off in the direction of the elevator that Papyrus had used earlier. He gave them a smile as he left. I guess this means that I really better get back to work. This machine ain't gonna power itself, after all. Whatever you're up to, I'm sure I'll be seeing ya around soon. Pup the dog glanced back down at the scratched out name in the dirt as Sans made his exit. So after all of that, they still didn't have any more info on where Gaster actually was. And if anything, it sounded like they just made Sans more dedicated to getting the time machine project running. Do you think that maybe we should have answered differently? Greatest Dog thought to the other two. Frisk looked ahead with determination. I think it just means we need to really make sure that the future does turn out all right. Frisk, oh Frisk, we were so scared. We did not know if you were going to wake up.
Well, I did.
I cannot believe that you would try something that dangerous, whatever you were doing.
Sorry. Guess I was just trying to help.
Oh, I know, that is just how you are. I am just so relieved that you are all right. But you are still grounded for 2 weeks.
Oh, I see.
Wait. You woke up, but where's Flowey? Where's Endogenes' missing soul? Weren't they with you?
I don't know what happened to them.
But you promised that you would bring back Endogenes' soul. I didn't understand.
You tried this whole deal of taking a soul from the amalgam because of what I told you, didn't you? And now you don't even know what happened to it.
All I remember is a lot of darkness. It took me a while to find my way back. I guess the others are still lost in wherever we were.
Then Endogenes still isn't safe to go home. They still can't see their families. How am I supposed to explain that to them?
I think we will have to work out something for the amalgam later. It is just important that Frisk is back with us now.
I guess you don't have to worry about that flower anymore.
Frisk, I'd actually like to keep taking care of this flower, if that's okay with you. I don't want to let this work go to waste, and, well, I'm sentimental.
Frisk, was not Flea your friend? You were the one who insisted that we go all the way back up Mount Bed to get him. You were the one always defending him when he was rude or rowdy. Asgore has been working hard to keep his body alive, knowing he was so important to you. If he truly is missing, I do not understand your response.
I'm sorry. I'm just still trying to process this.
Of course you are. I know this must have been a scary experience for you.
What we need now is a big welcome back to consciousness feast. Some of my award-winning spaghetti will set you right as rain.
Your spaghetti won an award.
Of course. First place Frisk favorite.
With still not much information out of Sans on where Gaster was, the dog took to searching more of the underground for him this time. They took a shortcut to Snedin, and began scouring the forests for any sign of the scientist. Frisk insisted that they check every room, just to make sure. In general, Snedin seemed a lot quieter than they remembered. There were less people wandering around the woods than would be later. They did Spyford happily keeping to himself, and luckily never ran into Jerry or his ilk. It seemed that the snowman hadn't been made yet, either. And after a whole lot of both walking and shortcutting their way from room to room, all of them were starting to get tired. I don't know if it's necessary to check every room, Frisk. What would he be doing all the way out here, anyway? Flebby grumbled. Frisk refused to stop, however they could see the bright light of Snedin town close by, and that seemed the most likely place for him to be, anyway. The town definitely felt quieter without Sans and Papyrus living here. I don't know, but we've got to follow any leads we find. I still feel like we're missing something. As they approached the town entrance, Greatest Dog suddenly took control, and brought them to a stop just by the welcome sign. He sat them down, panting happily. Can we please stop for a second? Just right here. Flebby was still impatient. Stop? What for? Oh, I just want to sit for a minute and enjoy these lights and smells all on my own while I can. It's very nice we don't have the time to enjoy smells. Fletty insisted. I know we have to rush. But I just want a little minute. I want to enjoy this before I have to go back to being with all the other dogs again. That stunned both Frisk and Fletty into silence. They'd been so busy racing around trying to find Gaster that they'd barely remembered that once they succeeded, they'd have to put everyone's souls back in their proper place, including greatest dog with endogamy. They hadn't even thought to ask about it, and both couldn't help feeling a bit embarrassed. Frisk was the first to speak back up. Is it hard for you? Being stuck together with the other dogs like that, all the time? Oh yes, it's very hard. It hurts a lot, greatest dog replied, almost matter-of-factly. Fletty sounded more confused than anything. Hey, you know we're the ones that have been hauling your body up and down the entire underground. But you've never tried to fight it or complained about this whole deal, even once. Don't worry, this isn't the same thing as with all of the other dogs. This is more okay. No, I mean if we accomplish this mission and get back home, then you'll have to go back to being an endogamy. If you wanted, you could have tried steering us off track at any time just to avoid that. Why aren't you, well, fighting more? Greatest dog seemed completely confident in his answer. Because I promised the doctor and you that I would help find the lost scientist. I will be brave and true and good. There's nothing in the whole wide world better than being a good dog, and not many dogs get a chance at it. The dog wagged his tail a bit at the thought. So I will help the scientist and everyone get home. I will be a good dog. The doctor will be proud of me. And when I'm back with everyone again, they'll all know what we did, and we'll be brave and good together, forever. He looked out at the dimly lit town with fondness. But I want a little minute to be me, if that is okay. Suddenly, rushing in to look for Gaster didn't seem that important to any of them after all. So they sat and watched the town ahead for a little while, quiet in the freshly fallen snow. They recognized the restaurant that everyone frequented, but the name over it read Smokies instead of Grillby's. Two bear monsters, looking to be cubs and both in striped shirts, tossed snowballs at each other from behind a couple of trees. A hippo-looking monster stepped out of the library, a pile of books in her arms. Close by the inn and the shop, two snowrucks met up, one with a pair of dorky square glasses that Frisk thought they recognized. He presented the other with a bicycle, and must have made some joke about it, as the other snow giggled at him. The doc was right for just a minute. It was nice to stop and watch. Frisk sighed. You really are the greatest dog.
Howdy, Sans. You've certainly been visiting a lot lately.
Asko, I need to talk to you.
Of course. What do you need?
I wanted to warn you. There's something really wrong. Frisk is.
What's wrong with Frisk?
It's not Frisk. I know it looks like them and sounds like them, but it's not them. It's something else.
Golly, what on earth do you mean, Sans? That just doesn't make any sense.
Just trust me, I know. Whoever this other person is that's in Frisk, they could really hurt someone. Everyone in this house is in danger.
Frisk, hurting people? I don't believe it. How do you know this?
It's kind of complicated to explain. I just know.
I'm sorry, Sans, but I don't think any of us is in the best state to judge Frisk's behavior so harshly right now.
Never mind.
Seriously. Where'd you even get that idea?
I think you might be overthinking this, Sans.
I did know.
That is ridiculous. Who else could they possibly be?
I don't know.
You're being very mean, for a monster. I haven't done anything.
I know what you would do, given the opportunity.
You really don't know anything about me.
I know enough that I want the real Frisk back.
Interesting. Everyone else thinks I'm the real Frisk except for you. Sounds like this is just your problem.
Oh, I'm certain it'll be their problem soon enough. You can't hide this forever.
Well, I guess that depends, doesn't it?
On
if they catch on in time.
You guys really think Gaster is around here? Maybe he's here to talk to the king and queen. I don't know, but I'm still thinking we should check every room. Not here either. Woof, wow. You know, we got enough soul power to go through the barrier now, don't we? We could cross the barrier, get 6 more human souls, and free all the monsters right now, before the core accident even happens. But if we did that...
Oh, howdy, little one. Are you doing alright? I know it's hard, seeing the light out there. I'm sure you feel that freedom is far away. But don't you worry. Very soon now, we'll all be free of this place. You'll be out there, playing in the sunshine, before you even know it. It's been a long time coming, I know. But once monsters are on the surface again, all the sacrifices will have been worth it. Haha, yes. And I can't wait for you to grow up in that sunshine, little prince. Oh, you want to make a new friend? Well, here we go.
Frisk, we have to go.
But we can't just...
No, we have to go.
For a second, I thought you were going to take us to the barrier. I almost did, but I can't. Why can't you? We'd free everyone right now, but what if that changed everything? I'd never meet Chara at all. You have to understand, I was very lonely growing up. Sure, Mom and Dad doted on me all the time, but I found it very hard to make friends. I didn't even go to the same school as the other kids. I barely talked to them. Maybe they felt intimidated because I was the prince, or I was just emotional a lot. Things being the way they were for me, it made me angry, I think. But then there was Chara. So, despite knowing everything I do now, even though I know that Chara isn't a nice person, that sometimes we fought out the worst in each other. Even though everything went so horribly wrong, even after losing my soul, even after all those resets. Despite all of that, those days I spent growing up with Chara were my happiest memories. When I couldn't feel happiness, they were the only things left. I can't bear the thought of giving those up. Even to fix it all now, I can't stand the idea of those days never existing. Frisk and Greatest Dog, too, I owe you an apology. What for? You were right. I still can't feel bad about it or sorry that I hurt people, but it is my fault we're stuck like this. It was my idea and I pushed you all into it. I guess I just got caught up in my own memories, talking of a secret and dangerous plan to help monsters, to really save the day. It was exciting for me. It reminded me of those days with Chara where we'd come up with all these ideas on how we're going to free all the monsters, and we'd play out how smart and brave we were until the day we stopped doing it for pretend. I was too caught up in the goal to notice you were uncomfortable with the process, Frisk, so I pushed you into acting when you didn't want to, and just messed up everything as a result. I can't ever care that you got hurt, but I still should have at least recognized this from before. I guess I always did follow Chara's lead that way. So I know that my apology is worthless because I can't be sorry, but I'll say it anyway. I'm sorry.
Flowey, that apology isn't worthless. It really does mean a lot. And we've still gotten this far with you.
Sheesh. I really don't deserve you, Frisk.
We've all made big mistakes, but if we're going to get through this, we're going to really have to work together. No more fighting, or belittling, or getting off track. Okay, Flowey?
Yeah. I think we can solve this together. Yeah, we totally can. There's always a team in Team Dog, and that's what we are. Only one in existence, I say. Then let's find Gaster and get home. I'm ready. Let's go!
Toriel. You seen Papyrus this morning? He wasn't at breakfast. Hey, anyone here? Papyrus? Papyrus? Come on, are you here? Papyrus? Papyrus.
Sans. What on earth are you yelling about?
WH, what are you doing in Toriel's shower?
I'm taking a shower, you numbskull. Our shower is busted and the plumber doesn't come until tomorrow, which you'd know if you'd bothered to read the note I left for you on the door.
Oh.
Naya, hey.
Something the matter?
Oh, you're just a real barrel of laughs, aren't you, bucko?
I don't know. I think you freaking out over some marker scribbles is pretty funny.
Don't think I'm not watching you. You try anything and I'll...
What? You'll kill me? It'd be easy for you. It'd be smart, too. I can't reset on my own. You'd never have to worry about a reset, ever again, but I don't think you will. There's some part of you that's still hoping. Hoping that Frisk will come back, and if you took the initiative now, well, I doubt Frisk would enjoy coming back to a corpse. Just imagine trying to explain your actions to Toriel. Imagine the look on Papyrus's face.
You know, I'm actually not the sort to jump to violent responses. So let's just talk. What is it that you want?
You think if you just do what I want most, I'll leave Frisk alone? It's pointless to ask. No one can give me what I want.
How about you just indulge me? You know, fuftensies.
I think it's more fun to keep you guessing. From what I've gathered out of Frisk, you're not one to care a lot. So it's much more interesting now that you feel like you've got something to lose, isn't it nice? To maybe care again?
If no one can do anything for you, then I fail to see the point of you hanging around here now. Fooling all these people that love Frisk.
You don't need to see any point. Maybe I want my reasons to stay mine, or maybe all I want is a little use out of Frisk's body while it's empty. Nice and roomy in here, so maybe you can just indulge me. You know. For funsies.
Several quick shortcuts later, and the trio had exhausted all other possibilities as to where Gaster was. There was only one other place that he could possibly be, and that was where they were headed now, to the side entrance to the core. While this place was a safe distance away from the apartment building that would eventually become Teton's resort, it was still bustling with people and activity. A large metal scaffold had been constructed leading up to the core's power base, and attached to it in an array of haphazard metal, wires and pipes, sat the time machine. Frisk recognized at least the shape of it from the curtained-off remains in Sun's personal lab. Here, however, it seemed in much more of a complete piece. A team of scientists were running around, checking specs and readings, securing both the machine and the scaffolding to the enormous generator. The searing heat of the lava below them only made the scene more urgent and uncomfortable. Greatest Dog was the first to speak up about all their shared worry. Once they turn on the machine, it'll break up space and time and hurt the whole underground. Could we even stop it? On this, Frisk wasn't sure. They knew they had to save Gaster, but was it possible for them to do that without stopping the core implosion completely? I think we should just concentrate on finding Gaster and making sure he's nowhere nearby when the core implodes, so we're just gonna let the implosion happen? Fletty asked. We don't know what'll happen to all of us if the underground loses the ability for people to save and reset. The important thing is saving Gaster. So that's what we'll do. This was at least something they could tenuously agree on. They started forward across the scaffolding, making sure to avoid the eyes of any scientists that might spot them and decide they weren't supposed to be here. They did see Papyrus, but as he was hammering away at a piece of scaffolding while also trying to encourage it to be properly attached already, they decided it better to not bother him. By the time they got to the machine itself, it was clear there was no sign of Gaster. There was one skeleton they still recognized, though, and that was Sans, who was reading over a hefty pile of blueprints. He noticed them enter the machine's effect zone, and stepped forward, smiling but still looking a bit worried. Hey, pup, I thought you might show up here at some point. You need to stay back, this place is dangerous. They listened and took a step back onto the scaffolding itself, but still looked pretty anxious. It felt like everything was happening around them and they were powerless to stop it. All that worry read on their face pretty clearly, and Sans picked up on it just for the wrong reasons. You anxious, pup? I'm a little nervous myself. I know this is a risky venture, but it'll be worth it once we're back in time and can make peace with the humans. He tried to offer them a genuine smile. And hey, you said yourself things would turn out alright. This didn't seem to make them feel any better. They just gave Sans a worried look, and kept pacing back and forth in front of him. Not being able to communicate this easily was beyond frustrating. I mean, I've got all of my notes and then some here to make sure we don't miss a thing. Sans held up something from his pile of papers, and squinted at it, suddenly looking confused. Hell, so much info here, I don't even remember what half of it was for. All of a sudden, a faint buzzing sound came from what seemed like behind Sans. He definitely recognized the sound, though, and placed the stack of blueprints on the ground before pulling his cell phone out of his lab coat pocket. Amy, just a sec here, pup. While Sans busied himself with the phone, the dog took the opportunity to look at some of the blueprints and notes that Sans had dropped in front of them. On top of what appeared to be a main blueprint for the time machine was a handwritten log report, except it seemed to be written in weird symbols, mostly made up of hand signals. What does this mean? Frisk asked, glancing over the notes frantically. Here, let me. The dog shook out his head, and Fletty resumed control, peering closer at the notes. I can read this font. You can. Frisk sounded surprised at this news. I can read any font. I had a lot of resets to mess with, and a lot of time to read every book in the underground. I taught myself to read every font there as Fletty scanned over the log note, and his eyes widened. The symbols suddenly became all too familiar to them. Dark, darker, yet darker. The darkness keeps growing, the shadows cutting deeper. Photon readings negative. This next experiment seems very, very interesting. What do you two think? That's what Reaper Bird said when we talked to all the amalgams. Frisk exclaimed. It's the bad memories. Greatest Dog actually seemed more anxious than ever. The ones in the shadows, the corners. They read this. But what does it mean? Fletty asked, frustrated. The three were so busy musing over the log entry that they didn't even notice Sans finished his phone call and turned back towards them. He looked more annoyed than anything. Keep getting calls from this unknown number and then it's nothing but static. He pocketed his cell phone and gave them a look of surprise. Geez Louise, don't tell me you can read scientific font, too? They gave him back those one-tail waggers, our means of saying a yes, as with their previous game of 20 questions. They also whined, desperate for some explanation. A thought occurred to Sans, and he seemed to brighten up. Say, pup, if you can read, can you also write? The dog's ears perked up, and they wagged their tail furiously. Yes, finally. This could be their chance to get something across to Sans. Sans picked up on the hint, and pulled a pen out of his other coat pocket. He handed it down to them so that they could grab it in their mouth, and flipped over one of the log pages to a blank space. Then here you go. How about you get down what's so important that you've been chasing me all over Hotland for it despite having limbs and paws now? It turned out that actually writing was even more difficult without fingers. Flay, still in control, suddenly found that practice he'd been putting in writing with his mouth to good use, and even then, it still took a lot more time and effort than any of the three would have liked. But after a lot of careful scratching at the paper, they got down what they figured was the most brief and important message possible. Stop Gaster. They dropped the pen and stared up at Sans expectantly. The skeleton just looked down at the writing with confusion, almost disappointment. I don't get what you mean, pup. What's Gaster? The dog's jaw fell open in shock. Out of all possible responses they could have gotten from Sans, this was those one they expected the least. What does he mean? How does he not know who Gaster is? He's the only one who remembered him in the first place. Does that mean that he's not even here at all? Did we fail the mission? But we're here before the core implosion. Sans didn't look like he had the time to sit and wait for them to finish an internal debate, as he sighed and scooped up the papers and blueprints off the floor. Sorry to cut this short, pup, but I can't help you out if you don't give me much to work with. The dog scampered about, trying to think of anything else to say or do, but all they could do is whine. I know you're worried, pup, but we've come too far on this to delay it now. Maybe once this experiment is done, and we're all free, you can come back and we'll have a much longer chat about what you know. Sound good? Honestly, that didn't sound good at all to them. But what could they even do about it? It seemed like all of their plans had been thrown out of whack. They ran back to the time machine, and then back to Sans, practically growling with frustration. You better hurry along, pup. We'll be starting up the machine soon, and this whole area won't be safe for you. But you'll know soon enough that it's what do we do now? Flay, still in control, felt beyond frustrated at this. Ugh. Let's just go. With that, the dog took off running back across the scaffolding, not even caring who noticed them along the way. They left Sans behind, suddenly looking a lot less sure of himself. He looked back down at the scrawled message on the back of the log entry, eye sockets furrowed. In his coat pocket, his cell phone buzzed once again. Oh, Frisk. You startled me. You are looking a little pale. Are you feeling all right?
I guess I'm just tired.
Why not go join Asgore in the garden for a little bit? Some outdoor sun might make you feel better.
Do you have any chocolate? I'd like that.
Frisk, I thought you did not really care for chocolate.
It just sounds good to me right now.
Well, I do not have any in the house now. But I will pick up some when I go shopping tomorrow. Does that sound good?
Fine.
Frisk, I want to make sure you are feeling completely well again before you resume school and work. You still seem troubled. Is something bothering you?
Something has been bothering me. There's something I think you should know about Flowey.
And what is that?
Flowey was Asriel, your son.
But how do you know?
He told me so. He didn't want you to know, but I guess now I want to know how you really feel about me. About him. If you'd ever replace me like you did the other kids.
I have to go.
I don't understand. Gaster isn't anywhere, but we're here now, before the core implosion. And how could Sans not even remember he exists? And they'll start the experiment any moment. The core will break up into pieces. Then we're out of time.
Tra-la-la. Out of space, too.
Wait, you can understand us?
Monster, human, flower, together at last. I knew you'd come.
How can you tell? How did you know we would?
Tra-la-la, HMM, can you hear the sound of the sea from here?
Please tell us, how do you know all this?
Ah, you want the veil lifted on my thoughts? Hum, that is fair. Who am I? It doesn't matter much anymore.
I remember you. I saw you come out of the lab once, but your face was different going in. You were the first test subject for the time experiments.
I love to write in my boat now. The space between places is short for me, and that makes the time short as well.
If you have this control over time and space, can you save and reset too?
That's a curse saved for a lucky few. I did not pass such tests, little dog.
We've been looking all over the underground, but we can't find him. Do you know where Dr. Gaster is?
Beware the man who speaks in hands. The sounds from the other world are not always so pleasant.
Sounds from the other world?
Tra-la-la. The sound of the waves. A roaring fire. The cries of the damned. Words yet to be spoken. A whispering flower.
Grr. Listen, we can't go home empty-handed. How can we be in the past before the core accident, but he's not here?
Out of time, out of space. That is the man who speaks in hands. The core will open all times, and now he is none.
You mean he doesn't exist in any point in time anymore? Even now before the accident?
3 minds are better than 1, you are correct.
But that can't be true. A person can't just be erased from all of time and space and leave no impact at all. The fact that we're here proves that. You remembering him proves it.
Tra-la-la, if you truly wish to find him, then outside time and outside space is where you must go.
Outside of time and space?
A word of caution, if you will consider. A person hates most in others that which they hate most in themselves. Are you prepared to face the man from the other world, and in doing so, to face yourselves?
Yes.
Then you best get going. I would offer a ride, but I suspect your paws will carry you. They're even quicker than my boat.
What's happening? They're starting up the machine. Okay, we're gonna go. Thank you for helping us. Where are we going? Back to the time machine. We have to go outside time and space, and that's the only place and time where we can. We're going into the rip in time and space? If that's where Gaster is, then it's the only possible way to reach him. And what if we get lost outside of time and space too? Godlike powers, remember? As long as I can load my save file, we can escape back to the present. That's assuming that you can load from outside the timeline. We're not going to get a second chance at this, guys. We can't save here. We can't reset. If we miss this window, we fail our mission, and this was all for nothing. Fine, now or never. Let's go!
Mayday. Mayday.
You crazy canine. You're supposed to flee the other way.
We can't control it. It's overloading.
I don't understand. This wasn't supposed to happen. Why am I here like this? Get out of here, I don't want you to get hurt.
Wait. No.
Oh, time to wake up and smell the pain. Though, it's still a little shaky.
Where are we? So this is outside time and space? Frisk, please tell me you can still load your save file. Okay, I can still reach my save, but... But what? There's something off here. It feels like the time and space on my save file are all out of place. I don't know if it's where we are or something else. Are we stuck? No, I can still load. I'm not sure what'll happen when I do. Okay, that just means this really is our one shot. When we leave here, we're gone for good. So we find a way to bring Gaster back into the timeline now, or he's really lost forever. So where is he? Hey, wait! Gaster, don't you vanish on us.
For here.
We'll track you down if it's the... Huh? What? Ah! Whoa. Ah! Oof. What happened? Where are we now?
Cheaters, snakes, hackers, all along. Now, you're where you belong.
Sam stopped by Toriel's house again, as he had been doing almost hourly now. He just had to keep checking that everyone was still safe. He knew Papyrus at least was at his work for a few more hours. The others, however, well, that's what he was here for. Sans was already nervous when he knocked on the door and didn't receive an answer. Still, that didn't stop him from walking in anyway, as he sometimes did. He stepped into the house, and was greeted with another eerie quiet at least until Elfie spotted him from the hall and came running up, an empty dog food bowl in hand. She looked even more anxious and sweaty than normal. Sans. I'm glad you were here. I need to talk to someone. Sans was immediately on edge. What's happening? I was just over here to feed Anogony, to try and get them calmer, but there's something's going on with Toriel and I don't know what. Sans closed the door behind him and leaned in a little closer. He suddenly hoped that no one else was listening in on Elfie's. Something going on? Elfie gripped the empty dog food bowl closer to her. Frisk I guess said something to Toriel, it made her really upset, and Asgore got it out from her and I don't know, he was a mess and just left. They were about something and he just ran up and left Flea and all his equipment outside, and now Toriel hasn't left her room and I think she's crying and I just don't know what to do. Truth be told, Sans didn't know what to do about that either. He stayed silent, trying to figure out what Frisk could have done, but Elfie continued on. Sans, I think you might be alright. About Frisk. They've just been acting strange. And I hate saying it, but they promised me that they wouldn't hurt Endogony. I don't think that Frisk will even come back without Endogony's soul. Elfie's voice dropped into a hushed, frightened tone. What if you're right and it's not really Frisk? Sans just about collapsed into an exhausted pile of bones at having someone in the house finally believe him. That's what I've been saying. It's not them. Elfie's eyes darted about, and her claws started putting scratches into the dog food bowl. But if it's not Frisk, who is it? To this, Sans had no answers. His own knowledge was already severely limited to just what he felt could happen rather than what did happen. At least, what happened in the timeline that they were in now. And considering his previous encounters, he didn't think he'd ever get a solid answer out of the Frisk imposter. but there was at least one thing he knew about. I don't know. All I know is that when they show up everything goes wrong. Sans suddenly felt very heavy, and he looked towards the floor. Everything goes wrong for everyone, and I become powerless to stop it. Elphies looked too desperate to be entertaining Sans' refusal to act right now. There's got to be something we can do. Like what? I don't think Toriel's in a state to hear this from me again right now. Sans, both Elphies and Sans nearly jumped out of their skin and bones respectively at a new voice. The two turned and saw Toriel approaching them from the stairwell. She looked bedraggled and exhausted, her fur unkempt and her eyes tired. She seemed to be looking through the two of them, and for a moment Sans wondered if she actually was aware they were there or not. He and Elphies exchanged a panicked look, and neither of them responded for a moment. We were, but Toriel didn't need to wait for a reply from them. It is about Frisk, is it not? It is not really them. It seems more like Toriel trailed off, her breath catching in her throat. She suddenly seemed unsteady on her feet, and she put a paw against the nearby wall to try and keep herself upright. It didn't seem to last long before she slid back down to the floor, her head in her paws. I do not understand. Why is this happening? Why, every time do they keep slipping through my fingers? Toriel choked back a sob. I thought we were safe, that we were free. I just want Frisk back. I just want my child back. I do not want to do this again. Sans and Elphies stared at each other with equal looks of terror. Both were used to Toriel being in charge of reassuring them all when things went wrong. And now Sans knew they were both wondering how were they supposed to reassure the former queen when she was practically having a breakdown. Elphies was the first to speak up, although quietly so, as she tried to build on the encouragement that Undyne had given her. Toriel, it's not your fault. That just seemed to make Toriel sob even harder. Elphies made a few panicked motions between herself and Toriel, eyes locked on Sans. Sans was starting to feel pretty anxious himself, but tried to think of some way they could handle this. He minded using a phone with one hand to Elphies. Get Undyne and Pets over here. He told her under his breath. Whatever they could do to try and help Toriel, he had a feeling that they would need the boundless optimism of those two more than ever. As for himself, Sans swallowed and moved over to try and help Toriel up. It took her a little while, but she finally accepted his hand and he was able to get her back on her feet while he still supported much of her weight by himself. We're gonna get this worked out. Just you gotta hang in there while we figure out what to do, okay? Toriel didn't respond, but just nodded as Sans led her into the living room. There was only one thing he could think of to do in a crisis of this sort, and that was to tell jokes. So I got some new knock-knock jokes off the internet. Wanna hear 'em? Toriel nodded again, and gave a quiet and strained yes. Meanwhile, Elphies made her way to the kitchen and pulled out her cell phone. She barely managed to dial the right number, her claws were shaking so much. Finally, however, she got the number down and heard the line pick up. Peeper Pyrus, it's Elphies. I know you're at work, but we really need your help here at Toriel's.
Who are you?
No one anymore.
Hey, come back. We just want to talk to you. And to figure out where Gaster went.
He doesn't want to see you. Doesn't like cheats like you do.
We'll worry about what he does and doesn't like once we find him. We just can't give up now.
Shouldn't you first worry about your friend?
What friend?
The one right behind you. Smiling end to end.
Huh? What?
Oh, they're gone. Do you see their eyes?
Who are you even talking about?
Next time you see your friend, you should apologize.
Tell me to apologize. Even when we actually find Gaster, we still can't get to him. If this is outside time and space, why does it still look like parts of Waterfall? And why do you have to go and call us sneaks? That's mean. I guess this other world looks and sounds like bits of the real world, but everything's just messed up. It's definitely messed up. It doesn't smell like anything at all. Why don't we just shortcut from room to room until we find him? What would we even be shortcutting to? We can't even trust the ground. Okay, some of this stuff is different. I've never seen a crystal like this in the underground before.
Stranger. Please. What's it like outside?
Maybe these guys are the ones Gaster did tests on. The ones that were lost.
So they've never even seen the surface.
You mean what the surface is like?
What? Surface? I just want to know what is outside this room.
Why don't you go and see?
I'm scared to move. If I touch the wrong thing, I might crash.
Crash?
If you move, you'd be scared, too.
Do you know where to find Gaster?
Stranger, I've never left this room. I don't know anything. I don't know when I'm supposed to be anymore. I'm sorry, Doctor, I'm too scared.
How about we go to the next room and see what's there, and then come back and tell you? Then maybe you can talk a bit more about Gaster.
Please.
What? Ah!
I'm scared.
Ah! Oof. It'd be really nice if these weird physics would work in our favor for once. I just want to know where we're supposed to be walking. A frogget? Well, we didn't start any fight. Ugh. Are we just getting more lost? I hope not. Ugh, if we could just find someone who can actually guide us, we'll be fine.
Hello, are you alright? You must be so lost and confused.
Toriel, how are you here now?
Ah, do not be afraid, my child. I am Toriel, caretaker of the ruins. I pass through here every day to see if anyone has fallen down. You are the first human to come here in a long time.
It's not really you, is it?
I will do my best to protect you during your time here.
I'm starting to get why the river person was warning us away from here. Why those other guys were acting so messed up. This place, it'd drive anyone insane. Would that mean Gaster too? If we give up now, we'll just end up like those other guys. We have to keep at it. You know, Frisk, for the first time, I'm glad all three of us are stuck in this body. I don't think this sort of place is meant to be handled alone. Hey, an echo flower!
Error.
What? Ah! Oof. No kidding, this place is full of errors, dumb flower. Whose voice was that? I'm starving. Let's get some food. Oh, don't get your hopes up. It's probably fake or will turn into bullets or something.
Unfortunately, it's just dry food.
No! This really is the worst place ever.
SHHH, do you want him to hear you? He's listening, you know.
We've been searching all over for Gaster. We just want to talk to him.
Don't be a liar. You don't want to just talk.
Okay, fine. But we're here to help him.
You can't be so rude and careless. What if you crash?
What do you mean by crash?
Fatal errors. You could destroy yourselves. You could destroy everything.
Huh? We'll be careful, and we won't crash, but we do need to find him.
Keep your voices down. You don't want him to hear.
These guys are no help at all. They're some kind of help, I think we're getting a clearer picture of what we'll be dealing with when we track him down. And what's that? Someone who doesn't want our help. I don't like this room. It's bad. Let's leave. What do you mean? There's nothing in here. What the? What's happening? It's bad. It's bad. We need to run away. Chara?
Cheaters. Don't go near the white room. It's busy checking.
Checking what?
Everything.
Thanks. You really helped us.
Got stuck in the white room once. Hey Hannah, I was terrified.
Then it was very brave of you to lead us out.
I wanted to ask you something.
What?
Can I pet you? At the lab, the guard dog was nice to me. He let me pet him. I miss him. Feel real. I'd forgotten how real things felt. Haha, thank you.
Can you do us a favor too? Please help us find Gaster. We know you think we're cheaters, that he doesn't want to see us. But we still want to try and help. We'll be careful, and we won't crash anything.
I know how to find him. You need to rethink your fun. You need to think of a number.
Any number?
No. Think of the number 66.
Okay.
There you go. He's behind the door.
Wow, thanks. That was... Okay, guys, are we ready? Ready as ever. I'm ready!
Even the garden feels the same. She really does love recreating things long gone, you know. I had hoped that once all the monsters got their freedom, I would too. That was the plan all along, wasn't it? Not that you were any good at following it, but no. I'm still here. It was even okay, with Frisk. I thought I could just sleep and that would be close enough, but with them gone, now I know. I can't escape this world on my own. Even if they do come back, someday later, they'll pass on, and here I'll stay, once again, rotting in the ground. You think that being stuck as a flower is awful? Try being fertilizer. I'm so tired. All I want is what everyone else found. All I want is some peace, but there was none in the past, and there's none for me in the future, and it's all your fault. I know you're just sticking it out for Frisk's sake. But let's not kid ourselves. I know what it's like, being trapped in this empty shell. So how about I just take some initiative for the both of us?
Frisk. What are you doing?
I heard you left.
Sans was right. You're not Frisk. What are you? Don't touch him.
You'll seriously fight me? Over this stupid, empty weed?
Whoever you are, I don't want to hurt you. But I won't let you hurt him either.
That's real funny, coming from you.
Why are you doing this?
Because for once, I can.
Stop it now.
Just, give it. To me.
No.
Hold it right there, kid.
Really? You'll step up to defend that useless flower? After all he did to you? Now that is funny.
It is funny. Never would have thought I'd get back to caring, but you were right. This time, I feel like I stand to lose something. But yeah, no, I suspect you've got a whole lot to lose, too. I mean, come on, kid. You're outnumbered, your love is way low, and you can't reset. You got no hope of winning. So just put the knife down and walk away.
Well, now you've got me curious. Who would you be willing to lose first? Frisk or him?
I told you I don't need to resort to violence, kid. All I got to do is keep you grounded.
Was that supposed to do something? Something affecting the soul, I guess. Too bad. That won't work on me. So will you resort to violence after all?
Wait, what? Endogeny, what are you doing? Stop that. Endogeny. W8, stop. What's wrong, Undine? Help.
I got this. NGAAAAHHHHHH. Elfies, Elfies, help! I've made a huge mistake.
Dr. Gaster!
The fluctuating universe number. One of our first clues is to the existence of the save file. One of the first of many mistakes. And here I see it repeated again.
We've come a long way, but we're here to rescue you.
And what do you think you are?
I'm a monster. I'm a human. And I'm neither.
Oh, no. I know exactly what you are. You are cheaters. You think you can break the rules to suit your own ends. But that is how you end up here. Only cheaters and fools end up in this place.
We're not cheating.
Of course you are. I see you jumping save files, changing your fun values, playing with souls. You probably do not even realize how many you have hurt along the way. I once thought as you did. Your cause may be noble, but try to break the rules, and the universe will erase you for it.
But you aren't erased. You're still here, and so are we. Maybe it was through cheating, but we can still save you.
You come to me and judge my soul worthy of saving. I think perhaps we should examine yours first.
Frisk, you handle this. I can't. I don't know how to show mercy.
You come to me with empty promises and no understanding of how this world works. You come to me by breaking the rules and then expect them to obey you. I'm afraid that won't work here.
We don't want to fight you. We just want to help.
And you think just one of those will cause hurt while the other will not. Then you'll see. You will see what truly hurts most in you.
Wait, no!
Loremites and doses.
Frisk? Flowey?
What hurts you most? Ah, for you it would be simple, wouldn't it? They all disregarded themselves to try and help you first, and all you did was drag them down with you. Was your life truly worth their eternal torment? You think it fair to escape that when they cannot?
Where? What's happened?
And for you, where to even begin? You seem to have lifetime after lifetime of worst memories. How many times have you destroyed or ruined lives? Even for the ones you share a form with now? How many, out of boredom or curiosity or spite, have you killed? How do you pick the greatest hurt out of an existence beyond salvation? Ah, yes, I suppose the first time you killed would be the worst, wouldn't it?
No.
Foolish prince. You learned this lesson long ago, and still never took it to heart. You killed to try and bring peace, but it brought you nothing but ruin.
Flowey? Greatest dog. Where are you?
Human, they say your souls persist after death, even without kindness or compassion. Can you show me what such a soul fears most? You hide them from those closest to you, even try to hide them from yourself. Yet the question remains. Why did you climb the mountain that no traveler returns from? It seems you learned early on how deeply you could regret a decision. How easily your human anger and fear could cause hurt. How permanent the effects could be. You thought you could escape it if you ran to the mountain, but you cannot escape yourself. Is this why you remained so determined to use your power to make everything right? It's useless. Nothing can truly turn back time. Nothing can bring me back from this place.
No, something can. I know. If the other dogs had been in my place, I would have tried to help them, too. Just because you don't think you are worth it, it doesn't mean you don't deserve help. I was helped, and now I will help, too. I will be a good dog. Frisk. We're still here. We're still all together. I know how to save him.
You might not be able to undo the bad of the past, but that doesn't mean the good you can do now is worthless. Even with my powers, I can't truly change past bad, but I will still do good, right now. We're in this, together.
Yes, I've done so many terrible things, and I can't even feel bad about it. I'm probably the worst person in the whole world. But despite that, I was still given a second chance. I might be bad at appreciating it, but I'm not going to waste it. And if even I can get a second chance, then so can you.
You all come together to show me mercy.
Dr. Gaster, what is it that makes you hurt the most?
$63, $64, $65, $91. Look at these lost souls. Because of my actions, they are trapped in this hell with me. Because of my actions, all monsters in the underground suffered, even all of you. I have seen all the possibilities in time and space, from the outside. I could have stopped when the pain was small, when I knew it was wrong. But I didn't, and now it's beyond measure. How can I endure that pain? How can I be worthy of any existence but this one of non-existence? How can you ask me to help now?
If we can do it, we know you can too. We know that you have friends, people that miss you. Don't you want to see them again?
Yes. Yes, I miss the world. I miss the people in it. So why must you torment me with promises of freedom from this prison?
I can still load my save file. We can still escape. It might be cheating, but sometimes the only way to do good is to break the rules.
Perhaps your power is enough for you. But why do you promise the same for me? You cannot bring me with you.
But we can. We can save them all. We have the power in us.
I think I know what you mean.
For a dumb dog, you're a lot smarter than you look.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's finish this mission.
What is this?
It's the legendary fetch ball of fetching. The most powerful, most mysterious, most awesome artifact in all the underground. Only the greatest and purest of dogs can possess its untold magic.
Your key to freedom is a dog's toy.
Allow us to demonstrate. First, you throw it. Then you catch it. And finally,
you bring it back with you.
What's happening?
I can't let them go without them attacking is what's happening.
You got zero chance of offing that week now, bucko. Just give up.
I don't care. I can't care. I'm never going to get what I want. So for once, I'll just do what I want.
Please stop fighting. You're making it worse with endogyny. Please, see, calm down. I'll take you back to the garage. Everything will be fine.
Not to rush you or anything, but this is really damn gross.
Whoever you are, just please stop.
You know that none of us want to hurt Frisk.
Well, then perhaps none of us will get what we want.
Guess not.
Papyrus special attack.
Peps. What are you doing?
Using my special attack so that you won't do anything you'll really regret.
Your special attack cancels out an attack by turning it into a heal turn.
Obviously. That seems quite necessary right now.
But if you used your turn to cancel my turn to heal over Raskor's, then whose turn is it now?
Look, just someone take their turn. I'm losing feeling in my legs.
Then perhaps we should just end this.
Three, 2.
No!
Please stop.
1.
I am sorry, Kara.
File loaded.
It's you.
Hey, how about that? You did come back.
Tara.
What is happening?
Woof, hey. I'll give you all a minute. I'll just be over here, with all these guys, yup.
A body with this sort of power in it. I've been here before. It would be nice to be the one controlling it this time. What? You going to do something about it?
Please, don't.
WH, what are you doing?
He's my friend. You don't need to hurt him. You don't need to hurt anyone.
Mercy is pointless. For all you know, I could take over your body again in the future. I could use it to kill him.
He still cares about you, more than anything.
Frisk, why are you doing this?
Because it was your memories that helped me reach him. I couldn't have saved them all. Without you, I know there was hope in you. I know there's still good.
It's your fault that we're both like this. Something that doesn't deserve to exist.
I know. I guess, I understand, if you hated me enough to want to end me.
No. I hate this. I hate what we are now, but not you.
Tara. I'm so sorry. About everything. I wish I had known.
I still don't get it. Why you did what you did, or why you want to stay in that dinky little flower. But I guess at least you've got one good reason. I'm sure you'll be wanting to get back to your own bodies here. It was nice to have one to myself for a little while, but I don't think it'd work out long term. I guess in the end, it's still just you, Frisk.
Wait. Chara, once we left the mountain, I thought you left, too. I couldn't hear you anymore. You don't have to go away like that again.
Figured you'd say that. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not interested in sharing. Didn't really work out last time.
Then what is it you really want?
It doesn't matter. No one can help.
Please.
I just want some peace. My body and my soul are both long gone. It would be so nice if whatever is left of me could go, too. It would be so nice to move on. But no matter what I do, this world won't let me go.
I don't know what it is that's keeping us tied together. I don't know how to undo that, on my own.
I know. That's why no one.
But it's not me on my own, right here and now. Together, we've still got godlike powers for at least a little longer, and since I know you're here now, I think it's something we can do.
You can free me?
If that's really what you want.
I can go. I can, finally.
Tara, I can't believe I have to say goodbye to you, again.
Hey, come on. Big kids don't cry, remember?
Why yeah, I know.
And you really want to stay here?
Yeah. It's funny, but I guess there's still some things I want to see and do here.
Then how about this? You stay in this life, and I'll go on to the next. Someday, we'll meet again. And when we do, we'll find out what the other missed.
Oh okay. I'll tell you everything, if you tell me everything, too.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm here to help.
We didn't even need to call you over.
We're all in the same mind, silly. Couldn't help but overhear.
Okay, this is getting a little crowded.
Don't tell the other dogs I cried.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Frisk.
I have your soul.
We did it. We're back.
Frisk. Frisk, is it really you?
Yes, it's really me.
Kid. It is you.
Frisk, you're okay.
Hold on a second. We got Dr. Gaster.
You did.
Hello, darlings. We're back from the tour. Sorry to drop by unannounced, darlings, but your gate was open, so we thought that. Well, then.
Oh, so sorry to interrupt.
The hell are you all even doing?
Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
Endogeny, you can finally see all your families again. I'm sure they'll be so proud of you.
You're a good dog.
I was so worried for all of you.
Alphys, I'm sorry.
Frisk.
I promised you that things would be okay, and that I wouldn't get you into trouble, but I messed up, and didn't keep that promise. I'm sorry that I put you all through that.
It was scary, but I did last through it. I never would have thought I could before, but it's a bit of a relief now, knowing that I can. But no more messing around with souls, okay?
Yeah. No more of that. I hope their families give them treats forever. We never could have saved Gaster and gotten home without Greatest Dog.
So I was right all along, huh? You really are good and brave.
More than you'll ever know.
Hey, Doc.
This world, I never imagined it could be this beautiful. I had stopped imagining anything at all. Being outside of existence, I had to convince myself that existence was worthless.
Doc, I wanted to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I lost you, and that I almost forgot that. I'm sorry for everything that happened.
Apologies. I'm the one who should be giving those. The hurt I've caused, it's incalculable.
Don't dwell on it. I think being trapped in an endless void outside of time and space kinda settles the score with that.
So, the child did tell you some of what they saw.
Yeah. I get the feeling they're leaving out plenty, though. You know, it really is funny, that kid was what got me to stop caring in the first place. Knowing it could all be undone in an instant, I had to learn pretty quick not to care. And now here we are, and they've gone and turned me around and back to caring about the future again.
You are saying I should do the same?
Not saying it ain't scary. Just saying, I'm finally getting convinced that it might be worth it.
Scary. It's terrifying beyond anything in this void. I spent so long ignoring the pain in the present to try and undo pain in the past, and then in a world without time. And in all of that, endlessly seeing and knowing different futures, and now I don't understand this one at all. How do I face this future? What am I supposed to do now?
Well, for starters, there's an observatory up on Mount Kregel, couple miles outside the city. Monsters get half off admission there because they've been visiting so frequently, and the humans are pretty happy about that. Papyrus and I go up there every Thursday. Next week, you wanna come with? You can get your first good look at Mars.
Yes. I'd like that.
Asriel. Why didn't you tell us?
If we had just known.
Toriel, no, I'm not.
We have missed you so much. I cannot believe that it is you.
Please, just tell us how this happened.
Stop. Just, don't call me that, okay? It's Flowey now.
I don't understand.
You do not have to pretend to be someone else for us. It does not matter what you look like, we will still love you.
Would you two stop it? Just listen. Telling you that I was Asriel. I know they did it to hurt you, because they were hurting, too. There's a reason I asked Frisk not to tell anyone. Frisk understood that. They respected that. I only came back from the mountain with Frisk in the first place because they did understand. If you knew everything, it wouldn't help you at all. You'd just be more miserable, without anything to help it. None of that closure stuff, just making the past even worse. Is that really what you want? So can you just trust me? I know you miss Asriel, but I can't be Asriel for you anymore. After all that's happened, for the first time, I'm finally becoming okay with Flowey, like, maybe I can go forward now. Please, I don't want to start all over again.
Can you just let us do one thing, please?
What?
If this is the way you really and truly want it, we'll try and understand. Just, can we say goodbye to Asriel?
We never got a chance to before.
Yeah, okay.
Goodbye, son.
Goodbye, Asriel. We love you.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. Okay, little room here. I can only take so much mushy stuff. When the heck did I get leaves, anyway?
You can thank this one for his hard work on that.
Huh, think you can get me some more? Make it easier to hold a pencil and stuff?
Well golly, with the right amount of sun and water, and of course a steady mulch diet, heavy in nitrogen.
Blech. Never mind, these are just fine.
Hey there, kid. Are those dog treats you got there?
Ooh.
Relax, kid, I won't judge you. I ain't in a position to judge, anyway.
Not like before, huh?
Well, you know. Times change. Even without people like you helping them.
I'm not sure we changed all that much in the past, actually. How is Gaster doing?
He's adjusting. It'll take some time, but he'll get there.
Sans, there's something I think you should know.
What's that, kid?
It's my save file. It's corrupted.
Corrupted?
I mean, it's still there, because I'm still here. But it's broken, somehow. I can feel it. I'm not sure what caused it. Maybe it was bringing Gaster and the other monsters back here. Or maybe it was being in the other world and coming back to this time, without a save point. But it's messed up now, and I can't access it. I can't save or reset anymore. Whatever happens, from now on, I can't change it. I guess, Gaster was right, and there are always consequences.
And how does that make you feel?
Kind of relieved. Also kind of scared. Though mostly, I think I feel free.
And what about that other person? That thing that was in you while you were gone?
A person, not a thing. And they're gone now.
Not interested in sticking around if they couldn't use you for something, huh?
Sans, it wasn't like that. I wasn't used for anything. I know they were awful to you and everyone, but there was more there than any of us really knew. And whatever it was, I think they feel the same freedom that I do now.
Then, you know, I couldn't ask for more than that. I'll have to tell Peps to throw some of those into his next spaghetti experiment.
Don't you dare.
Hey, sorry, didn't mean to rub your nose in it. You know my bark is worse than my bite, don't you? I just canine resist a good joke.
Yeah, you just try being stuck as a dog for who knows how long and see if it doesn't rub off on you. The dog. When I loaded my save file to come back to the present, we were outside of time and space.
Well, all the dogs in that amalgam are accounted for. You're jumping around in the timeline step. I don't know, copied another version of the save file outside the timeline, and brought back the original version of the Doctor where you started with him.
Yes, but we still left a version of Greatest Dog in that void space. What about him?
So, wait. Let me get this straight. You all left a dog in a place outside of time and space, where it could potentially access any point in time and space.
Yeah.
With tons of knowledge of future events.
Yeah.
And you last left it with godlike abilities.
Well, yeah.
You know what, kid? I don't think you gotta worry about that little guy. I get the feeling. He turned out just fine.